Hey, HannahMouse1 here. Today I'm bringing you another paper mache video. This week I am making a paper mache ice skater. This is actually a gift for my ice skating coach. She asked me to make her an ice skater, so I am going to do that. This episode I really want to focus on making a very dynamic pose. Because in the past, most of my characters have either been just the upper body or been in a very, stationary pose, or, all the limbs are very tight in and stuff. For an ice skater, I wanted to have the limbs extended. I knew it was going to be a bit of a challenge because paper mache likes to collapse in on itself and stuff. But, yeah, I was really determined to make this look, very, dramatic and, strong pose. So I'm going to start off with just by doing the head, because this is kind of territory I'm a bit more comfortable with, and also this is going to require almost like a sculpt unto itself, so I had to put a bit of time onto this. I start by just sculpting out a basic face shape, so I just kind of mould it out between my fingers. I add in the brow bone with just a tapered tube of paper clay. And I just stick that on and then blend it out, basically. I blend it out using this wooden clay sculpting tool. And I just merge the pieces together. And yeah. Obviously this looks a bit weird now, but once other form pieces are added in, this will look a lot more natural. So yeah. I do that. Right now it kind of looks like the rim to a hat, but yeah, it looks better later on, I promise. So yeah, I just go back and forth, blending this out as much as possible. And then I sculpt out the shape of the face, add in the chin in much the same way. Adds a bit of dimension to it. And stuff, I just blend that out. And I add in the nose, which is almost like a cone of paper mache, which I then just blend on. And yeah, I just try and make everything look as aligned as possible. And I just make slight adjustments. I spent almost an hour just tweaking it and adding in small details. I add in the cheeks by just building out this area. And yeah, I just do the same on both sides. And then I block out where I'm going to put the eyes, make eye sockets, and then fill these out with just balls of paper clay, which I then just push in. Obviously I don't blend these out too much here because the eyeballs are a separate piece of matter. I do blend in the eyelids though, which I just use these little semicircles, and then I just stick them on and then I blend them in. It's pretty simple and I think it's pretty effective, so yeah. Just adds some shape to that area. So yeah, I then add in the ears by just making these half moon shapes and then just blending these on in much the same way. It requires a bit of adjusting and stuff, but eventually I get it to where I want it to be. So yeah. I said this in the last paper mache video, but I'm going to say it again. If you try this, be aware that it is a very messy process. The paper mache formula I use, by the way, if you are planning on trying something like this yourself, is flour, water and salt. I add a bun to the girl's hair because I wanted it to be very streamlined. So yeah, the water is what really gives the thing moisture, obviously, but the flour makes is what gives it sturdiness, and I find a higher flour quantity makes you go smoother. So try and get the balance right. Don't make it too watery. And then the salt is just to stop it moulding because you are literally using food. I cover all this in glue just to kind of seal all that in while I move on to doing the limbs. I start off by doing the upper or the forearm, and then I do the upper arm in the same way. They're both just these cylinders of paper mache, which I can then mush together and blend out. And then I make a hand, which I just blend on, and yeah. Obviously I'm going to have to wait for this to dry before I do anything, like it would require this to be affected by gravity, because as you can see this is pretty flimsy. I then start adding in the fingers on the hand by just adding these little tubes of clay and then just moulding them on. Do the same with the thumb. Now the hand I do the same way, except this time I do it bent, and I make the hand separately and I'll add it on later. I do the leg in much the same way as well. I do one bent leg, one straight leg. This process is pretty repetitive for all 4 limbs, so it's not like you're missing a lot. I'm skipping through it pretty quickly. I mesh on the hand onto the arm, and I then give definition to the skate blade at the bottom of each of the shoes. Here I am adding once this is dried, I add shoulders to connect the 2 arms together. I'm moving through this pretty quickly, and I do the same with the legs. So now I have like 2 major pieces, and I sculpt out the neck here as so. I sculpt out the neck and mesh on the head. This is just kind of the assembly stage. So I just now have these 2 pieces. I sculpt out the torso. I'll add more definition to this later. And then I mould these 2 pieces together, as you can see. I then start adding some shape to the chest, sculpting out breasts and stuff like that. Here I start doing the awkwardly short skating skirt. The dress, all the ice skating dresses I've seen, the skirts are incredibly short, obviously because you don't want to be tripping over fabric when you're skating. So yeah, I try and mimic that short skirt style here. And then I add it to a base by just PVA gluing it and then propping it up until it dries. I neaten up the edges by gluing down some tissue over them, as so, as you can see. And then I mix up a nice skin tone, as so. It's like pretty muted because I did quite a bit of blue, and then I just like paint this on the face and the hands. I do a more muted version for the chest and sleeves, where a lot of skating dresses have the top done in this semi-transparent material, which would cause a skin tone like colour. Here I do this blue for the dress because I thought that would make it look nice and fairly cool and stuff. Blue is obviously a cooler colour, and also I just really like the shade of blue. There could have been a lot of colours I did here, I just chose to do blue because I thought it'd look cool. I give her these muted brown tights, because often if you're skating professionally you'll be wearing tights that go over the skates. And then I do her hair in blonde. The colour I was using for the hair was incredibly liquidy. I don't know why it kept running. I don't normally find this problem with these paints, but whatever. And then I do the base in this teal colour, and then I add some detail to the face, like the whites of the eyes and the cheeks in pink, sort of thing. I just add those details on, so. Try to make it come more alive. I add in the irises, the eyes, and I do the visible blade in silver. I then do a lot of trim with threads around the edges of the dress and stuff. I do it on all edges of the dress, around the neck, on the wrists, and at the hem of the dress is where I do the dark blue lace trim. And I think it really does help tie the whole look together. I really like this. And then I use this ginger colour to accentuate the eyebrows and the upper eyelashes. So yeah, and then I cover everything in matte Mod Podge just to help seal everything in. Just a quick coat of that. Yeah, I just go over everything. I didn't do too much of this because as this is a gift, I wanted it to be really secure, so I decided to resin glaze this one. So I'm using like it's called Jado resin, I think. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. You mix 2 parts of A to 1 part of B. You just mix it all together, and then I just coated it in this. Remember, if you're using resin, please wear gloves and do it in a well ventilated area, as it can be toxic. So yes, safety first. Also, if you're glazing something like this, you are just going to sit for a while and just catch the drips. And this is what it looks like in the end. I really like it. I think it's really cute, and I'm sure my ice skating coach will love it. I want to say thanks for watching. Follow me on Instagram at HannahMilesCrafts, and I will see you next week. Bye!